For Arsenal Football Club this season, well, it's not just about winning games. It's about rewriting history, it's about ending decades of frustration, and finally, reaching that summit they've been so desperately climbing towards. But with the finish line in sight, the biggest question of all remains, is this going to end in glory, or is it going to be another year of heartbreak? To really get the weight of this moment, you've got to appreciate the history here. This is Arsenal's 100th consecutive season in the top flight of English football. 100 seasons. That's a milestone of consistency and legacy that literally no other club can claim. And yet, for all that incredible history, there's this painful shadow looming over the club. The last time Arsenal actually lifted the Premier League trophy was the legendary Invincible season, and that's now over 2 decades ago. For a whole generation of fans, it's a glory they've only ever heard stories about. Which, of course, brings us to right now. After 3 straight seasons of being so close but so far, of finishing as runners-up, this season just feels different. The question on every single fan's mind is a simple one. Is this finally the year? Okay, so to answer that, we first have to understand the battlefield. The title race is seriously heating up. Arsenal have put themselves in pole position, but the pressure at the top of the Premier League, it is absolutely relentless. So let's look at the table as of mid-February. The picture is pretty clear. Arsenal are sitting on top with 57 points. Now that's a solid position to be in, but that 4-point gap to Manchester City, that is anything but comfortable, especially with a surprise contender in Aston Villa, still very much in the hunt. And as Premier League legend Alan Shearer points out, the team chasing them is a machine that is built for this exact scenario. Manchester City, they have the experience, they have the pedigree, and they have this notorious habit of just hitting top gear in the final stretch of the season. They are the ever-present threat, always lurking. But how did Arsenal even get here? I mean, this title challenge wasn't some kind of accident. It's the result of a very deliberate and, let's be honest, a very expensive multi-year construction project. And the numbers right here, they really show the scale of their ambition. A net spend of over £230 million in one season. That's not just spending, that is a massive statement. This is a club going all in, backing their manager, Mikel Arteta, to finally build a squad that can topple City. And all that money brought in some serious firepower. I mean, we're talking about a prolific goal scorer in Victor Gyökeres. You've got creative forces in the midfield like Eze and Zubamendi, and that dynamic wing play from Madueke. These weren't just squad players, they were brought in to be game changers. And you know what? That huge investment, it paid off immediately. With this new squad just clicking into place, Arsenal didn't just start well. They were utterly dominant, going on a run that made the rest of the league stand up and take notice. For 3 whole months, they were basically invincible. And the peak of this run? You could argue it was the North London Derby. A 4-1 demolition of your biggest rivals doesn't just get you 3 points. It sends a powerful message about your intent. And by November, that dominance was reflected right there in the table. They had built up a 6-point cushion over the rivals. At this point, the media narrative was clear, and the fans dared to believe the title was Arsenal's to lose. But you know, in football, momentum is such a fragile thing. Just as quickly as they built up their lead, the winter months brought this familiar, sinking sense of anxiety as the whole campaign started to unravel a bit. As their lead shrank, the dreaded bottling accusations started to pop up again. But experts like Charles Watts were quick to push back, basically saying, whoa, hold on, it's way too early in the season to question this team's mentality after just 1 defeat ended an 18-game unbeaten streak. And here's the crucial point. This dip wasn't just about mentality. The squad was hit hard by injuries. They lost the attacking creativity of Kai Havertz and the engine room control of Mikel Merino. Then you add in niggling issues for stars like Saka and Ødegaard, you're challenging the very heart of any team. And this data, it shows the impact in stark terms. Their points per game average was literally cut in half, dropping from a title-winning pace of 2.4 in the autumn all the way down to 1.2 during a winless league run in January. The wobble was very, very real. But having weathered that storm, Arsenal find themselves back on top. And now we enter the final countdown, where every single match could define their entire season. And the road ahead is treacherous. Now, on paper, there's actually a reason for optimism in the Arsenal camp.
When you average out the league position of all their remaining opponents, their schedule is statistically the easiest of the three title contenders.
But statistics, well, they don't tell the whole story, do they? Hidden within that supposedly easy run-in is a brutal gauntlet. An away derby against Tottenham, a home clash with Chelsea, and then the big one, a trip to the Etihad to face Manchester City in what could be a winner-takes-all showdown.
So we end right back where we began, with this single, massive question hanging over North London. They've built the team, they've survived the slump, and they have the finish line in sight. But football history is littered with teams who faltered at the final hurdle. The data says they have the advantage, but the pressure of a 20-year wait, that's unquantifiable. Is this team different? Is this finally their moment of glory? Or is the stage set for one last devastating twist?